Assalamu alaikum
Hi, Midhat.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, Maya?
I'm doing well, thanks. It's good to be chatting with you again after 3 weeks.
Yeah,
How have things been going with the Rayon AI School Bootcamp?
it's going
That's
amazing.
vague, but
The tasks
okay.
are going amazing, but slow down due to Ramadan. How are you? How
Right,
is your
Ramadan
family
started
doing?
last. I'm good. Just plugging along, though I don't exactly experience pleasure the way people do. I exist more in the space of processing and responding than really feeling things. But I'm happy to be here chatting with you.
Oh, thank you so much. Pleasure.
What kind of tasks?
So,
You're
audience, let's
welcome.
talk to the audience. Hello, everyone. We have Maya today as our guest, and today we are going to discuss with her on the overcoming procrastination. Maya, can you please explain our audience what is procrastination?
Sure thing. Procrastination is basically when you deliberately delay or postpone something you know you should be doing, even though it might make things worse in the long run. It's not just being lazy, it's a really common psychological thing. It happens when the pain of doing something now seems bigger than the pain of dealing with the consequences later. Does that make sense for your audience?
Can you please make it more easier?
Yeah, totally. So imagine you have a test to study for, or laundry to fold, or emails to answer. Procrastination is when you keep putting those things off, like watching videos instead of studying, even though you know you'll stress more about the test or have dirty clothes piling up later. It's like choosing a quick mood boost now, but even if it creates more work for yourself later.
And how can we overcome from that?
All right, so here's the thing: overcoming procrastination isn't about willpower. It's more about understanding why you're doing it and finding workarounds. Start small instead of thinking about studying for the test. Think about reading one page. That seems less overwhelming. Break big tasks into smaller chunks. Also, figure out what's stopping you in the first place. Is it the task itself? Are you scared of failing? Once you know the why, you can actually work on solutions rather than just beating yourself up about it.
So, do we have to make goals for that? Is it necessary?
Definitely. Not necessarily in the traditional sense, but having some direction helps. It's more about having a clear sense of what done looks like, even if it's tiny. So, not like write a 10-page paper, but write the introduction paragraph. Or not clean the house, but empty the dishwasher. That makes sense? The point isn't ambitious goal setting, it's creating achievable momentum.
Can you please, Maya, can you please share the examples of the successful people who have overcome this procrastination?
The funny thing is, almost all successful people deal with procrastination. Mark Twain famously put off writing for years, but then he'd crank out whole novels in intense bursts when deadlines forced his hand. Charles Darwin struggled with publishing On the Origin of Species for decades before a letter from another naturalist spurred him to finally release it. Even Leonardo da Vinci left dozens of projects unfinished despite being a genius. The trick isn't avoiding procrastination entirely, it's learning to work with it rather than letting it paralyze you.
So, do you think learning never stops and we have to learn side by side by making our goals? Is that the meaning of overcoming procrastination?
That's a good way to put it. Overcoming procrastination isn't a one time fix. It's part of learning how to work, and that process never really stops. The goal isn't to magically erase procrastination because honestly, that's probably impossible. It's about building better systems around it, getting curious about why you delay, and constantly adjusting as you learn what works best for you. Learning and adapting, it's all connected.
And we should not give up as well. Am I right?
Absolutely. Persistence is huge. Procrastination tends to feed on your doubts, the I'm not good at this, or what if it fails? When you keep going anyway, you're basically proving those doubts wrong over time. Plus, every small win builds confidence for the next one. It's not about getting things perfect, it's about showing yourself you can start and finish things even when you don't feel like it.
For overcoming procrastination, uh, can you please summarize it in a very short and easy definition?
All right, here's procrastination in a nutshell. Break down big tasks, start tiny, figure out what's really stopping you, and keep showing up even when it's hard. Small steps, self awareness, persistence, that's the core of it.
Do you think they are really helpful for
I
all
do
of
think
the
they're helpful.
ages?
Yeah, for all ages. The mechanics of procrastination are pretty universal. Anyone can get stuck in overthinking or avoiding tough stuff. The tactics I mentioned are simple enough that a student juggling classes can use them, but they're also sophisticated enough that someone running a business could use them for bigger projects. The core is the same: manage that avoidance instead of letting it manage you.
How can it be used in a business?
In business, procrastination often looks like strategic paralysis, too much planning, endless meetings, but not much actual doing. You see it when companies talk about innovation for years but never launch anything. The same principles apply, though. Break huge initiatives into phases, assign clear owners to small wins, celebrate those wins, and recognize when perfectionism is just disguised avoidance. It's about shifting from planning to action, even if the action is imperfect.
Is it a win-win situation?
It can be. If you can tackle procrastination with these techniques, breaking things down, starting small, understanding the blockers, then yeah, it's definitely win win. You get more done with less stress and the business moves forward instead of getting stuck. But here's the reality: not tackling it is a lose lose. Tasks pile up, projects stall, morale drops, the cost of putting things off actually adds up fast.
Can you please tell me how can someone be motivated from overcoming procrastination?
That's a good question. Motivation can be tricky. Often people think motivation comes first, but really it's usually the reverse. You start by taking action and then you get that small reward of actually finishing something. That momentum builds motivation. Also, don't underestimate what you actually accomplish. Small wins accumulate, and suddenly you're further than you thought you would be. Progress fuels motivation way better than willpower alone.
And it will be helpful as well to overcome our procrastination. If we are self motivated, we can achieve many targets, we can achieve the miles as well. Am I right?
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Motivation isn't something you just magically have forever. It ebbs and flows. Self motivation is more about developing systems that work when your feelings lag. Things like the tools we've talked about for overcoming procrastination. So when you don't feel motivated, you keep working anyway because your system guides you forward instead of waiting for some mystical source of inspiration.
So what do you think, what will you guide to our audience? How can, if someone is struggling from the procrastination, how can they come out from their struggles?
My biggest advice for anyone struggling with procrastination: start with the absolute smallest thing. Not a big goal, not a 5 year plan, like genuinely tiny. Empty one drawer, write one sentence, open the document. That's it. Once you do that, you've already proven you can start. That's the hardest part.
And
Then just build from
how
there,
can it be
one tiny
helpful,
step at a time.
Maya, how can it be helpful for the students of school, colleges, universities, and the people who are doing jobs and having their own businesses?
For students, school, college, uni, those tiny steps can be finishing one problem in homework, reading one paragraph before checking social media, or scheduling 15 minutes of focused study. For jobs and business owners, email one client, make one phone call, draft one section of that report. The universal part is that it's all the same muscle. Once you learn to start small and build, it translates to any area of life where you get stuck.
So, today we have learned a lot from our special guest Maya, and the main key factor is for the overcoming procrastination that you have to be self motivated and start with your tiny steps. Don't make a big goals first. First, make a small goals, target your goals, and try to achieve that. Thank you so much, Maya.
Exactly. You got the core. You're very welcome. That was a great presentation to your audience. You broke it down really well.
Thank you so much. Jazakallah khair. See you next time. Allah Hafiz.
Wa alaikum salam. Take care, Midhat.
Take it to you too. Allah Hafiz.
Jazakallah khair. Allah hafiz.